Hippos are the third largest living land mammal, after elephants and white rhinos. Despite their large and bulky appearance, they have adaptations to their semi-aquatic environments, allowing them to move swiftly on both water and land. Their feet have four webbed toes that splay out to distribute weight evenly and therefore adequately support them on land, and their short legs provide powerful propulsion through the water. The pygmy hippo's digits are more spread out and have less webbing, and, proportionally, their legs are longer relative to its body size. They both have skin tones of purple-gray or slate color, with brownish-pink coloring around their eyes and ears. They have very thick skin that is virtually hairless except for the thick bristle-like hair on their heads and tails. The outer layers of skin are quite thin, making them prone to wounds from fighting. Their flat, paddle-like tail is used to spread excrement, which marks territory borders and indicates status of an individual. Their powerful jaws are capable of opening up to 150 degrees, revealing their enormous incisors. Africa is the second largest continent on Earth, and the most diverse and heated places provide vastly different wildlife. Additionally, the second largest world's land mammal, the hippocampus. It is frequently cited as one of the greatest threatening creatures in Africa, is truly remarkable. The hippopotamus is unusual, but why? Thank you for visiting KYC News, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Today we will be examining the hippopotamus family members. Each have a semi-aquatic way of life and battle to be more connected to whales dominate other ruminant species. Hippopotamuses inhabit rivers and African lakes. Though smaller, the pygmy hippopotamus, which is less aquatic, they are only found in swampy forests. Sections of West Africa hippopotamus, which is a river horse, the hippo prefers water. The majority of the day in rivers, many ponds and lakes in Africa today, will concentrate on a hippopotamus that can swim, also known as the typical hippopotamus. The hippopotamus is a member of the family Dactyli, and the genus and family Hippopotamuti species is Hippopotamus. And amphibious, the typical hippopotamus is located in numerous nations around the world. Southern Africa, in appropriate wetland environments, their populace is steady in contrast to its cousin, according to the IUCN, the little hippo, which regrettably, the range is declining. An ordinary hippo, there are between 115 and 130,000, although generally speaking, population sizes are, when there is less available, significantly smaller habitat, or the increased density of people populations. They have a terrestrial fresh water system. Both marine and the forest is their type of habitat. Swampy savanna terrain, grasslands, wetlands, and coastal environments. Coastal, since they are semi-aquatic, hippopotamuses, the hippo's physique is ideal for both terrestrial and marine life. They are tall and lanky, with short legs. Startling lack of substance. The gigantic head has legs and jaws that permit a wide gap. They have lengthy tusks and can reach 150 degrees. Similar incisor and canine teeth, it can chomp through anything. Goats, alligators, and people. The nose is broad and adorned, tender bristles short and flattened. The tail modifications for aquatic life include webbed toes and sensory organs on the top so that they can almost completely submerge and continue responsive to its environment. Therefore, their eyes, ears, and nostrils all on their crest of the skull, and they possess the capacity to shut the underwater. Both the ears and the nostrils, even though they have the ability to the equivalent of 7 minutes. Most adult hippos will reappear every few years. Breathing for 3 to 5 minutes. This is a fully automatic process. This skin is truly that of an amphibious mammal. A gray color with a rosy undertone underside, and in the skin folds around the eyes. It's practically entirely hairless, and their skin was exceedingly obese. It is uncommon in that sebaceous glands are absent. Instead, mucus glands are present. essentially altered sweat glands that generate a viscous fluid to maintain when exposed to air. Skin becomes wet. This liquid, which is pink as a result of red pigment is present, can also ward off illness and sunburn. Occasionally blood has been confused for it. Its skin has a thin layer on the outside that dries up quickly and is extremely sensitive to insect attacks, including flies. If not wet, the hide quickly breaks, frequently in dirt or water. Although the skin's primary layer about 3.5 centimeters thick, at most hippopotamus weigh a massive 1.4 tons. However, in spite of its size, it's a graceful swimmer and speedier runner than any person. It's surprisingly agile when moving, too. Climbing the rocky cliff faces. Other than rivers, they can gracefully move while submerged and chop really quickly. Hippopotamuses are raucous creatures. Their slumber wheezes and complaints have been measured around 115 dB. Additionally, they employ subsonic vocalizations to converse. There are 4 chambers in the stomach. Enzymes disintegrate dense cellulose, however, some in the grass that it consumes. Avoid biting the cut. As a result, they are not real ruminants. Cattle and antelope. The hippopotamus will survive in the wild around 40 years. The majority of them live longer in captivity and can live to be up to 50 years old. Often thought to be herbivores, however, it has been noted that they only consume modest amounts of food, scavenging in animal life. Hence, some could classify them as omnivores. They eat mostly grass and roam around to graze at night. They typically travel inland. Follow the dung mounds that act as route markers. Take you to its feeding areas. An individual will consume around 85 kilograms of grass. Despite the fact that their system might be slow, the hippopotamus eats less than animals with comparable sizes, as a large portion of its existence is devoted in water. Their brittle lips peel when they are grazing. The grass hippopotamuses are gregarious creatures with schools or organizations. The schools of bloated pods or hippos often number between 10 and 30 members, consisting of both males and females. Even if some organizations have 200 or more, the folks who typically guide the school a strong male. In spite of his stature, they maintain transient herds. So during the dry period, they must search for dredging rather than each animal going back to its home daytime area. Some people utilize a local pool as a temporary stopover. Consequently, this broadens its grazing range. This results in sizable crowds at some pools, although these don't have long-term territorial or social structures. Despite being quite large, hippopotamuses is typically calm. On rare occasions, they can be nasty and often very inquisitive. They are considered one of the most hazardous in the world. Land mammals compete for access to territories, can be aggressive, and the hippopotamus could harm people. Significant injury with their massive, albeit little, canines. Threats are frequently used to end disagreements. Displays like yawning and to scare off competing men. They open the size of displays their long, curled lips. They also produce dogs' forceful splashes and loud gurgles in the ocean. Male-to-male territorial disputes are not unusual, especially where population densities are high. If are high following a time of roaring and rote displaying, if neither man yields, a fight will break out. Ensue. Their lower canines will serve as a combat using weapons, could extend for hours and cause severe harm, even kill. The dung is employed as a tool for communication. More strong hippo male will toss feces from its tail to a smaller animal imposing male. When urinating, the tails of hippopotamuses will swish back and forth, dispersing their waste like a spreader of muck. The resultant slapping sound reverberates downstream and aids in announcing territory. One of the most famous mammals is the hippopotamus. World's most vicious animals, it is frequently considered one of the finest. Africa has hazardous animals. When they are in, they're the most possessive. It is estimated that they kill in the water 500 people in Africa. Thank you each year. Thanks for watching. See you on next video.
Yeah.